Our first panel discussion, meet our future leaders, student and recent graduates on their experiences in the auto industry, presented by MEDC.
Good morning. I'm excited to be here all with you today at the legendary Detroit Auto Show. I'm Aviza Atari. I'm the Director of Higher Education Partnerships with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, or MEDC. Our division, Talent Solutions, was started at MEDC about 2 years ago to launch the largest state talent attraction and retention initiative in the country. To be able to focus on industries in Michigan with high growth potential, like advanced manufacturing and specifically the electric vehicles, mobility, and semiconductor sectors. Now, there is no doubt that Michigan is and will continue to be a global epicenter for advanced manufacturing and a vibrant innovation hub for smart talent that innovate and create future technology. But according to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, a shortage of skilled workers in the US could leave over 2 million advanced manufacturing jobs unfilled by 2030. So over the past 2 years, it's been the MEDC and Talent Solutions division's top priority to close this gap here in Michigan. We have invested over $30 million with Michigan universities and community colleges to design and deliver curriculum with advanced manufacturing employers that prepare students for in-demand careers. We've connected more than 1,900 people directly into good-paying, high-tech roles with leading Michigan employers. We've incentivized employers to create internship and expand internship opportunities through our STEAM Ahead program, providing nearly 1,000 students with internships in 2024 alone. And we've awarded more than 350 scholarships for students and graduates to stay in-state for internship and full-time employment as part of the Michigander Scholars Program. But we don't and cannot do this work alone. We collaborate with a broad group of partners, including more than 20 major employers like Hemlock Semiconductor, Calumet Electronics, GM, Ford, to just name a few, and many of the colleges and universities here in Michigan as well. But most importantly, we could not do it without our students. Whether you know it or not, you play a huge role in strengthening our state's economy and our communities. So that is exactly why the MEDC is honored to sponsor the Future Leaders Forum here today, which is part of the Detroit Auto Show's ongoing emphasis on fostering industry, talent, and mobility tech collaboration on the first day of Industry Days. But before we begin, I just want to take a moment to celebrate all of the students that are here today. We have hundreds of high school and college students who are going to be here who have traveled from downriver or all over the state, and we're so excited to have you here today. So I just want to give you all a moment to have a round of applause and celebrate you. Now, it's my privilege to introduce our panel, who will be sharing their insights and experience with you this morning. Our co-moderator is Christina Roque, the content creator and founder of STEM program Project 102. And our panelists, Dwan Henley, a Michigan State University engineering alumni and Michigander Scholars alumni, who's currently a battery development engineer at Nissan. Palakuke, a graduate engineering student and a Michigander scholar at University of Michigan Dearborn, who's currently working with Borg Warner. Ian Gibson, a Kettering University engineering student and Michigander scholar who is currently in a co-op with General Motors. So thank you again for being here this morning, and I'm sure this is going to be a great discussion. Christina, I'll start it off with you.
Awesome, guys. Well, it's a pleasure to see everyone. I want to first and foremost say, I promise I don't normally sound like this. I lost my voice, and you guys can confirm that on social media. But I started off in high school at Stevenson High School in Sterling Heights, Michigan. I went to the University of Michigan College of Engineering, studied computer science engineering and mechanical engineering, and now I get to work with a lot of cool automotive-based brands and get to do cool stuff with movies, celebrities, and build cool cars, test cool cars, and more. I want to start off by also saying thank you for these wonderful panelists that are here today. They're going to be sharing their story and their journey in pursuing a career in the mobility sector. So we're going to pass it off to Dwan. Do you want to talk about a little on how you got started from high school to college? What was that translation like? Did you know exactly what you were going into? Did you switch degrees and whatnot?
So I actually started off in Lansing Community College, actually, and I had no idea that I wanted to be an engineer. So it actually took me 3 years to decide that I wanted to go into engineering. I changed my major a couple times, actually, and I wanted to choose something. What led to me choosing engineering is that my father actually worked in automotive. He was not an engineer, he worked at a supplier and he was a robot technician. And he would always tell me about engineering and that you should really look into engineering, because he would always give me things to kind of like fix and solve, because he didn't really have the patience to like, say for example, the remote didn't work. He would be working, all day, so he didn't have the patience to, go and try to solve and fix this problem. So he would give it to me, and then I would fix it and things like that. So I always had a passion for problem solving. So he would always tell me, you should go into engineering, but I gave it some thought, but I would look at it like, I don't really think I would like that. And so I ended up doing research one day when I was like, man, I really need to figure out something more of what I want to do, something that I'm more passionate about. And so I actually went on YouTube, started looking at different things, and I actually took a math class. I took a pre-calculus class, and so that's what started my initial interest, and just looking at different forms of technology and stuff like that. I was like, wow, this is actually very interesting. So then I decided to go into engineering and transfer to Michigan State.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really cool.
So I did my schooling from India, and I moved to the US for my graduation. And it's been a great experience. Like, the study pattern is so much different than the study pattern in India, because when I first came here, everything was so different, like the assignment patterns and everything. And and then I started working as a co-op in Borg Warner, and then it's just like, it's an amazing experience. So the transition, I would say, was actually like, it's very different for me, but I really love it here.
That's really cool. And for you, Ian?
So I'm actually originally from Highland, Michigan. I attended Milford High School, and I had no idea what I wanted to do as a junior in high school. I think that's a very common thing. And I was applying to schools. I didn't really know exactly where I wanted to go, what I wanted to study. And then I applied to Michigan State, Lawrence Tech, Kettering University, and I just wanted to see where I was going to get into. And then I got accepted to Kettering. I visited the campus, and I was like, wow, this is a very small school. I don't know if this is going to be the place for me, but I experienced what the co-op experience was like. I talked with students and saw all of the crazy exposure that they got working with all of these automotive companies and all the tech companies, and I knew that at that time I wanted to go into engineering, and specifically electrical engineering. I'm very into electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles, so I knew that was the path for me.
That's awesome. And touching a little bit more about your guys' experience during the times where you wanted to commit to a specific degree or a co-op or an internship, was there a specific experience or person that helped you through that path? Because for me, when I was in high school, I had my AP statistics teacher that really pushed me to pursue a STEM degree, and I was always hands-on. I was in FIRST Robotics, and I just kind of applied what I learned in school and high school and college to vehicles now. So what about you, Dwan?
So for me, it was one person was my father, so he pushed me to go into STEM. But I also, one of the big things for me was I actually met other engineers. There was someone actually that I was dating at the time, and it was her uncle and then her grandfather. So I met them, and I got to, I literally set up a time on a specific day to meet them and talk more to them about the things that they did and the things that they learned from their STEM degree. And I got to go to their house and see the lifestyle they lived, the experiences they had. And I was like, wow, you did all that, from choosing to go into engineering. And so that was really what it was for me. Those were the people that helped push me into engineering. And then there were other people as well, like mentors that I met along the way that really pushed me as well, that I met through internships, that I met at Lansing Community College, Michigan State. There were a lot of people actually that pushed me to go into engineering, and it helped me stay in engineering as well. And they still help me to this day. So.
Wow, that's really cool.
Thank you.
For me, it's basically just my passion for cars, and I was just really so fascinated. I knew Michigan is the home for industries, and I knew that this is the place that I wanted to be in. So I looked for universities, and when I got into the U of M Dearborn, I knew that this is the place that I wanted to go in. And I feel that the people that actually pushed me to become a better person professionally, I think those would be my friends, because I kind of learned from them. They used to work in these big tech companies, and I saw that they were so dedicated for their jobs and they're so committed. And that's how I took motivation and I applied for jobs, and here I am, and I'm just so grateful to be where I am right now. So
That's awesome. Those are really good friends.
Yeah, so my journey started, I'm a very big car person. I enjoy being around cars. My parents are both in the medical industry, so they were like, hey, you should go into the medical industry. This is a good industry to be in. But really my passion for cars and making a difference in the automotive industry, I mean, we live in Michigan, right? That's where the big three are based, and there's a lot of impact here, a lot of manufacturing, a lot of different opportunities. So my grandparents worked at General Motors, and that's where I got my love for cars from, and so I just knew that I had to go into the automotive industry.
That's awesome. And just like you mentioned, Michigan is known for being the motor city, so we are in no shortage of careers in the mobility sector. So I'd love to hear a little bit about what you guys currently do at your internships, your jobs, your co-ops.
So currently, I'm a battery development engineer at Nissan, and one of the main responsibilities that I have right now, I work with telematics data. What telematics is customer usage data. So when someone, and specifically this is for electric vehicles in my sector and hybrid vehicles. So when someone is driving a vehicle, they're plugging into a charger, all of that data is collected, and OEMs use that to make design decisions, resolve any issues regarding products as well. So that's one thing I'm doing. I also do market research. So I monitor monthly sales. I do investigations into certain changes in the market, things like that, and I present on all of these findings as well from telematics data, market research, things like that.
Awesome.
So currently I'm working as an operational excellence co-op at Borg Warner, and the project that I was working on, one of the most interesting projects that I was working on is the cycle time analysis of the line. So it was really fun for me because I got to learn so much about how the process flow is, and for continuous improvement, understanding the bottleneck. What I really did, my approach for this was really simple. I understood how the process was flowing, and I tried to understand which process took a lot of time, and then I dug deeper into why this process is taking so much time. What I made to do it better and simpler was to have videos recorded, because that made me understand that, okay, hey, this is taking so much time, and then I dug deeper into the problem. And I went with a simpler approach. I told my managers, and then we found out the bottleneck. And it kind of improved the efficiency of the whole line, and my managers just give me credit for it, and it's amazing. Another really cool project that I'm currently working on is the in-station tooling project. So this is really different from what I was doing earlier, because this is where I learned about components and how these little components play a really major role in the whole production. Because if you lose one component, and then if there's no specific place or way to find it, I know it's going to be a problem for people on the floor. So yeah, I just try to make their lives easier by having everything sorted and designing the components if needed. So most of my project also includes designing, which is amazing because I work on SolidWorks, and I get to learn SolidWorks, and I would like to give credit to my manager also, because he kind of always makes sure that whatever I'm doing, I get a lot of learning from it. And it's just been an amazing experience being a co-op at Borg Warner, so yeah.
That's awesome.
So I started working with General Motors in July of 2022, just 3 months after I graduated from high school. Because of Kettering's 3-month rotations, I've actually done 6 rotations, or I'm on my 6th rotation currently at General Motors. I've worked with autonomous vehicles. I've worked with in a dyno cell with electric drive units. I worked in a battery lab. I worked in Milford at their proving ground. So I worked on the Corvette team actually, and I did some calibration on the Corvette E-Ray, and I also worked with the BrightDrop Zevo, if anybody's heard of that. It's GM's electric delivery van, so I got to take those home, and that was a lot of fun. And I'm currently doing my undergraduate thesis research with technical specialists on drivability of EVs and hybrids.
Very cool. And let's just say, looking back as if you were in high school, what advice would you give to your younger self that wanted to be in the position that you're in right now?
Have an open mind. Always be willing to try new things, always be willing to explore your curiosities, whether it's a robotics team, the racing team, even if you wanted to do, I don't know, like an acting class or something. Just really discover what you like and what you want to do next. I feel like my biggest problem was I didn't really know myself coming out of high school, because I was an athlete in high school, so that's all I poured myself into. And so I never really explored a different side of me, like, okay, do I like math? Do I like robotics? You know, I know I like cars, but, you know, what specifically about cars that interests me? That was, I think, my biggest thing was I should have explored my interest more. And that's always my advice to someone in high school, is to really try as much as you can and get the most out of your experience.
Awesome.
So if I would have to give an advice to my younger self, I would just say to be myself and, you know, just let it go. Because I used to stress so much about it when I was a high schooler, and I just wanted everything under my control. And I realized with time that it's not how it is. You just have to explore, and you just have to give time to yourself to explore things and possibilities. And when I was a kid, I never really even imagined in my wildest dreams that I'm going to be coming to the United States. I'm going to even leave my country in the first place, but then it all worked out for me, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I would say give yourself time and explore the opportunities, learn every day. Yes.
Yeah. Some advice that I would have is check out all of your options. Michigan has so many different opportunities, so many different universities that specialize in many, many different things. You really can't go wrong with any university in Michigan. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions. I ask questions all the time. In the worst case scenario, they're going to tell you no when you want to hear yes. But the best case scenario is you get a crazy opportunity to go and do something that's pretty unique and it's going to be really fun.
Awesome. And let's talk a little bit about staying in Michigan, but just jumping on what Ian said, something that I would give advice to my younger self too is, well, actually I'm like really glad I did FIRST Robotics, even if it's your last year in high school. Pardon my voice again. Ooh. But definitely get into stuff. Just, I love everything that you guys mentioned. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Try new things, even though you don't think you're gonna like it, at least you know now. But moving on to like staying in Michigan, I think what makes Michigan so beautiful is that not only do we have the big 3 auto manufacturers, we also have a lot of other car brands here that have offices here, test facilities here. Like Dwan mentioned Nissan, I do know of Mercedes, and there's a lot of other brands out here. So it really brings a very unique, Michigan, I feel like it's just not like any other state. From my experience, I go to California all the time, I go to Florida all the time, and they're great, but I always love coming back to Michigan just because of the amount of people that are here that are all different types of verticals, categories, and we're home of all things auto. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit again about what makes you guys want to stay in Michigan.
Great question. So for me, it was, given the history of Detroit in the automotive industry, that was the #1 thing for me. Almost like you were saying, every OEM really has some sort of base of operations in Michigan. So I believe by staying in Michigan, it gave me a lot of flexibility in my career field. Not even just in automotive, but in defense companies as well, medical device companies. There's so many different industries you go into by living in Michigan as well, especially in terms of automotive with the different testing grounds, research facilities, things like that.
So since I come from a mechanical and industrial background, I just knew that Michigan would be the place for me because it's a home for motors, it's a home for industries, and I knew that I will get to learn a lot from this place. And when I came in here for the first time, when I witnessed everything, when I saw the industries, I just knew that this is the place where I want to be in. So yeah, every day I learn from this place. Every day I get so much experiences. So yeah, I would want to stay here.
Yeah, I want to stay in Michigan because there's so much opportunity here. There's so many different companies that are headquartered here. The automotive industry, we are the Motor City, right? This is where the automotive industry is. Yes, Tesla is somewhere in California or Texas, and there are a lot of cars on the West Coast there. But this is the automotive capital of the United States, at least. A lot of foreign brands like Nissan. I know Volkswagen USA is based here in the United States. So some of the greatest and biggest car companies are based here, right here in Michigan. So there's always going to be all kinds of opportunity. There's a lot of job security here.
And also something small but very cool, you always see cars covered up in like some type of camo when they're still testing them on the road. I feel like you cannot find that anywhere else but Michigan, which is really cool. But touching a little bit more about the companies now, what advice would you guys give to companies to attract the younger audience to retain or stay in Michigan and pursue a career in the mobility sector?
I would say just showing the fun side of what they do, showing the interesting, cool things that they're working on. Like for example, I know, even though this might not be the best example, but I remember specifically one year when Tesla actually came to Michigan State. And one of the reasons why people were so interested in working at Tesla is because Tesla is not afraid to show the things that they're working on. So they actually allow students to drive Teslas or something along those lines. Like they got to go in the car and see these, the technology that they're working on. And I believe Magna as well did something along those lines. Like they brought a glass, it was like a door, and the glass on the door was touchscreen, and you got to see and actually experiment with this. They also had facial recognition technology that they're going to be using for AI on campus one day as well. So I think and that brought out like a large crowd. So just being able, I think students being able to see what companies are working on firsthand and seeing the cool things, seeing like, okay, yes, you have these long, rigorous classes that can be very stressful, but okay, this is the reward of that. This is what you're working towards. So I would say that.
So I would say with the internships and co-op opportunities that are available for the students, they should witness it for themselves, because when I started working, so my job is to constantly keep moving. I just don't sit on the desk all the time. I just constantly keep moving on the floor, and I witness those changes and how the industry is never stable. It always keeps moving. So I think it's a really fun experience, and every student should see that for themselves, because it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A piece of advice I would give to companies is we want room for growth, right? We want to be able to go to a company and we want to stay at a company, but we want to be able to move within that company and do other things, right? What I've learned rotating is it's really, really great to see one section of the company, but there is also a massive corporation that I haven't seen many parts of. So being able to rotate and see all these different places, it's really neat to see the different opportunities within a corporation, and I think making it easier to move up and move horizontally within a company, I think that would be the best piece of advice I can give.
I think that's pretty good advice. Touching on the little Tesla's topic, I did a hackathon at University of Michigan when I was still in high school. You guys should definitely check that out. It's fun. It's a day long, but Honda brought their new Civic Type R in 2017 at the time, and they let us hack their monitors, and they let us get a full immersion experience and just play around with all the electrical, the wires, the coding, and it was so much fun. And it's opportunities like that from early on that really get your gears going and want to continue the path in the mobility sector. Now touching on a little bit more about, let's talk about skills. What type of skills do you think are essential for the future engineers that you guys kind of see today?
I would say first and foremost is being very analytical. Part of complex problem solving is being analytical and being able to take this complex problem and break it down into smaller steps to solve the problem, but it's also being able to communicate that, being able to, I know, at least in my experience, one thing that I was not told going into the School of Engineering is the amount of presenting that I would do. So as I said earlier, a lot of the discoveries that I have through my research is that I have to present oftentimes to these, and oftentimes I have to present multiple times, maybe sometimes the same thing. So being able to take this complex problem and be able to break it down and explain it to someone and focus on the key areas and be able to, what's called data storytelling, right? And being able to explain this data that you was able to break down and create this visual for, I think is very important. Being able to communicate these complex ideas and being able to present them effectively, as well as research and discover and solve these problems.
I agree.
I would say it's the ability to adapt to the change, because like I said previously, the industry always keeps moving. So one should have the ability to adapt to the change. Problem solving skills, obviously there are so many resources available now. So you can always find one way or the other to solve a problem. And I would say the ability to convey your point of view to the other person. Because sometimes I would say that so much lack of communication, and that kind of creates a problem. And I feel that the ability to convey your point is, I think, one of the most important skills that one should have.
That's true.
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice is to be adaptable, be versatile, nothing is ever going to go correctly or 100% how you want it the first time. So be able to adapt and be able to take your time and problem solve. That's probably the biggest piece of advice.
Pretty solid advice. I think if you have any other questions, I think we can open the floor up to any questions you guys have for me, panelists, or anything else. If not,
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
have one question, actually. I'm curious about some of the cool projects that y'all are working on, whether it was during your internship experience or at your job now at Nissan Dwan, but are there any cool projects or cool technology that you've been working on that you're able to share with us and be able to share with the group? But we can sort of start this way if that's okay. Ian, do you mind going first?
Yeah. I've every vehicle that General Motors makes, I have touched or I've driven, I've experienced. So everything from, like I said, the delivery vans to the Cadillac Celestiq, being able to drive that and drive it home and show my parents. I did a lot of calibration work on that, as well as the Corvette E-Ray and the delivery van. So it's been a really unique experience.
That's awesome. Palak?
So this recent project that I was working on in school was creating a prototype for EV charging mobile app. That's how I created the base for EVs. And I really got to learn about this range anxiety that EV drivers have. And it was really cool because mostly I had knowledge about gasoline cars, but I actually grew deeper and I had more knowledge about EVs when I started working on that project. It was really cool. I try to make the graphic user interface really easier for the people who were using the app. I also created like a feedback page for like a set of 25 to 30 people. I sent it to them. I got their feedback, and then I understood that these are the things that people want. These are the things that EV drivers don't want, and I try to include that in the app. So that was really cool. I had so much fun working on that. Another thing that I'm recently working on is it's basically SolidWorks. I started learning SolidWorks. It's a designing software. It is so much fun. Like you can design anything and 3D print it. It's amazing. Like I sometimes 3D print coasters, whatever I want. I take it home. It's amazing. So yeah, I think I have a better understanding towards designing now, and I enjoy it a lot.
That's great. Dwan?
I would say for me, actually, it was one interesting thing that comes to mind is when I was an intern, actually, at Nissan. I was a wire harness design intern. And for those of you that don't know what that is, when you lift up the hood of the car and the black tubes that go into all these different parts of the car, that's a wire harness. And so I actually worked on the Infiniti QX60, the 2024 model year for Nissan. And one of the things I did value optimization, which is figuring out ways to save money on a part while maintaining the same quality and functions. So that was a very cool experience. I got to work with suppliers and be able to generate these ideas and implement design changes to the wire harnesses in order to optimize the value. In other words, save money and maintain the same quality. One thing that I'm doing right now is working with telematics data, but specifically I'm looking at customer behavior and analyzing customer behavior in terms of how often they're charging and what type of charging they're using, the distance that they're driving, and I'm using that to make design decisions regarding our electric vehicles.
That's awesome. Thanks so much. So one more question before we turn it to the audience. I'm really curious to know, while you are in school or were in school, were there any teams or organizations or events that you went to that you really loved or felt like really sort of kept inspiring you or motivated you to be where you are today? Or are you in them now? So I'm just curious. And again, Ian, do you mind if I start with you? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a part of our SAE, Formula E, and our EV carts team. So we make small-scale electric vehicles. That's really my passion. I enjoy creating something new and calibrating it to be the best that it can be. So I see a lot of things. I learn a lot of things at school, and then I apply that to work, and then I'll learn something at work, and I'm like, oh, we can apply that to the team. So it's a really cool opportunity to have.
So yeah, same. I've also been a part of Society of Automotive Engineers, and I've been doing this for the past 5 years because I did it in my bachelor's as well, and I got a chance to do it for my graduate studies as well. So it's so much fun because I get to learn about cars, and there's so much opportunities to learn about cars in the industries, in college, and yeah, it's just a fun experience.
That's great.
So for me, there were two organizations that I was a part of in undergrad that really helped me. It was the Engineering Society of Detroit, and then it was also the National Society of Black Engineers. I was on the executive board for the National Society of Black Engineers, and I was the treasurer, so I was pretty much like an accountant, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I managed all of the different finances and things like that. It really helped me in terms of my organizational skills and leadership skills as well. I had to oftentimes present to potential corporate partners, raise money, raise funds, and be able to I was able to make a significant impact on the campus that way through giving students, we awarded students scholarships, helping them get internships, going to different conferences across the country, things like that I thought was very, very cool and interesting. And then the Engineering Society of Detroit just helps me significantly with my professional network, meeting so many successful people and being able to find mentorship as well within the organization. I also experienced that with NSBE as well. And then currently I'm actually, I'm a part of Nissan. Nissan has something called Business Energy Teams. This is the same thing as an employee research group. And so what I do, I'm actually the president for the multicultural business energy team at Nissan. And so through that I've met many, many people. I haven't really done much in role yet, I just started, but I'm sure I will have a lot more experiences. But so far I've just been able to find just a community of people who have supported me so much. So it's helped a lot in that aspect.
That's great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate all your time and the conversation as well. Okay, so I believe there are mics on either end. If you're interested and have questions for the panelists, whether it's one panelist or more, please feel free to walk up and ask questions. We're open. We'd love to hear from you. Is it on?
Hello?
Yeah.
There we go. I'm a bit tall. There we go. But I see there's a lot of young faces in the crowd today. I've since graduated college, but I remember when I was in college, one of the more difficult things that I experienced was transitioning a major. I think there's a stat out there that's like almost 50% of students graduate in the degree that they started in. So I was curious if any of you guys have experienced changing degrees, whether that be into or out of a STEM-based degree or just horizontally within a STEM degree, and what advice you would have to a lot of the students here today who do want to change a degree when they are in college.
I think I can answer that. So going to when I was at Lansing Community College, my major has absolutely nothing to do with engineering now. I was actually a nursing major originally when I came to college. Yeah. So I actually changed my major maybe 3 times or something like that. And so I would say like my advice would be just to explore as much as you can. So that's what I did really at that time. I explored the robotics team. I participated in different organizations on campus. I just try to get experiences in many different things as I can. So that's one piece of advice that I would give. And don't be afraid to change your major. Make sure you choose something that you're actually interested and passionate about. So.
Yeah. Great. Any other questions? There's a mic on either side.
I think, Dwan, touching on what you said about changing degrees, it is a little nervous. It's a little nerve-wracking, rather, because you feel like you're starting all over again. You're questioning whether you even know if you want to do it, if you should go back. I think, to your point, it's something that you should try, and better try than not try. And all of those, I feel like you're not really starting from the beginning, right? You gained a lot of knowledge during the process of your previous degree that you were claiming, and then you ended up changing your major, but you could use a lot of the courses that you learned early on and apply it to your new major. And I think that's what's so beautiful about Michigan as well, is that it's not just STEM and auto, it's, you know, marketing within the auto industry, it's PR, it's all of it. So there's so many different verticals and angles you can kind of bring in to the mobility sector, the careers in mobility sector, and make it what it is today. And I think that's what makes Michigan and the Motor City so successful at it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would say there is not one time that I've changed my major and regretted it.
Right.
Every time, the 3 or 4 times I've changed my major, every time I felt better afterwards.
That's awesome. And what about you two? Did you guys ever change your major, or were you guys kind of stuck through it?
It was more about selecting a major for me. I never changed. I knew going in exactly what I wanted to do, but it was after many, many conversations with people in industry or counselors and trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I kind of was having doubts what major to choose from. And then I got into mechanical engineering and I learned that, okay, this is something that I really find interesting. And yeah, it kept growing.
How did you guys get over those stressful times? I know exam season is probably one of the worst in the books when it comes to cramming so much knowledge at one point, at one time. So how did you guys get through it?
So for me, it was taking the time to do the things that you enjoy. Whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. Because some people, they feel like, okay, I have to study for the exam, and that's all they would do the entire day, no breaks. I didn't do that. I used to. And then my senior year, I said I read something on LinkedIn. It was about like how to reduce stress during final season. And one of the things they said is taking the time to do things that you enjoy. So that really helped me out a lot. Like I would, I'm a big anime guy, so I would maybe watch an episode, the new season of something that I'm interested in comes out, then I maybe would watch like an episode or something like that. Then that would be my break, and then I would go into studying again. Finding, people who are in your same class and stuff helps out a lot too. Sharing information, sharing knowledge. So that's really what helped me.
So mainly during stressful times, I did 2 things. One is really simple, is to go take walks. It just kind of helped me relax. And usually whenever I'm studying and I get stressed out, I follow this Japanese technique. I don't know what the name is, but then you like study for like 30 minutes and then you take 10 minutes off. And then you study again for like 30 minutes and then it keeps going on. Whenever I did that, I had a feeling that, okay, I am on time and I'm not losing on anything. And it just kind of really helped me get through my master's.
Yeah, definitely taking one thing at a time, just making sure that you're doing everything to the best of your abilities, and then moving on to the next thing. It's more about what you learn in school rather than what your grade was, right? Did you learn something? Did you take something out of school? So that's more what I'm worried about. Do I know something out of this class, or am I just worried about just getting an A and passing the class?
Got it. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to all the students that are here today. Just before we end off, we have a couple more minutes now for your future. What do you guys foresee in your near future in terms of career path, staying in Michigan and continuing your career here?
For me, I want to go into leadership eventually. So I want to stay in Michigan and go into leadership in the automotive industry. I want to be at the forefront for innovation. So that's what is next for me. That's my goal.
That's awesome.
For me, I would like to say that I would want to grow and excel where I am right now. For now, I'm working for EV batteries, but I want to change my career path to something that's related more to automobile and cars and designing parts for them. So yeah, this is the change that I want to have. But I'm really excited where I am right now, and I'm excited for the opportunities that I'm going to get in the future.
Awesome.
For me, I'd like to go into engineering right out of school, and eventually I'd like to earn a position in a leadership position at some sort of large automotive company. It's always been kind of my dream to be able to lead an automotive company to success and be able to have a say in what's in the lineup. So that's probably my goal.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much again for speaking. I don't know if there's any other questions. We're down to our last minute. If not, thank you once again, and thank you for dealing with my voice, my lost voice as well.
Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting
thanks
us.
so much, you guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.